But Dom, let's kick it back here. You've worked with hundreds of clients, right? So you have worked with so many CEOs, owners, executives. You have the luxury of working on people's businesses and never having to really get into the full day to day, which is a benefit, right? If every leader, owner, CEO's goal is to be able to have their business running efficiently enough to where you can levitate, this way you can make those groundbreaking level up decisions, right? And find out how to really scale your business. From there, my question to you is, your system works because you've seen it work over and over and over again, right? I know your system works because I've seen it work. I've worked with you. You've been very gracious. You've opened the doors, allowing our evaluation process to come through. And you guys have not only passed with flying colors, but again, the number 4 strategic partner on our charts in 2024. Mark is a testament to your program working as well. But something stuck out to me when we had our interview. And the hardest part of any partnership anywhere is 100% adoption from both parties, and specifically leadership down, right? You have to have that adoption rate at 100% in order to really be set up for the win. Now, specifically with Mark and his team, what was your approach to help them get comfortable in order to not just test out Grosso University's system, but also get fully on board with it?
Yeah, and that's the biggest challenge, right? Is if the leadership and the team itself does not believe in what they're doing, then it's not going to work. It's not going to be effective, and you're going to get very poor results. And thankfully, Mark now has a sales leader, and I'm not going to name any names, but this guy actually went through my first Sales Academy masterclass that I did personally. So I actually had the honor of taking him through a 2-week sales training course. And my number one goal anytime I do sales training is to get these sales professionals to believe in the system that we train on. I want belief. That's my number one goal. And the way I instill that belief is through loads of passion, loads of enthusiasm, loads of energy, and obviously my wholehearted, unwavering belief in what it is that I'm training. And obviously sales is a transference of feeling and emotion, and that's the same way sales training is. So now that Mark himself and his leader that he has in his leadership role both believe in the system, and more importantly can execute the system themselves, now they put themselves in a position where their team is going to buy into it and believe in it also. And that's where I push back on a lot of organizations that want to work with us, because there's a lot of owners and sales leaders that come to us saying, I want to introduce your system to my team. And that's great. Obviously, we'd love to offer it. But before we do that, to make sure that this is not a waste of time, you first, as the leader or owner, whoever is in charge of that sales team, need to go through the training. You need to understand the system forwards and backwards, because trying to be a coach for a team without knowing the playbook is a complete waste of time. Right? And your team is never going to buy into it if you yourself don't know it, because your sales team will always emulate your actions and behaviors and your belief, right? So that's why I had success as a sales leader, because my belief in the system was off the charts, a 20 out of 10. So that's where I like to start with owners and leaders. And that's where, Mark now has the perfect combination of sales training, sales tools, and leadership that truly believes in what it is that we're doing. And they're better able to instill that belief in the team. It trickles down. So to your point, the fish does stink from the head down. So that's a long-winded explanation on that, but
That's great. Mark, from your perspective, what is it like to let go of your business to an outside organization? You talked about it earlier, consultants, your bad experiences. Now, part of those adoptions, I'm sure, is you weren't ready, or they didn't convince you enough. There was something missing, right, on both sides. Is your move when you finally met Dominic and Grosso University, was that a move of maybe desperation where you had no choice but to trust somebody? Or was it just like a pure self-aware level up strategy to go with Grosso University because it was the right fit?
Well, I think just like any company, if you're going to hire a consultant, it's the interview process. Not only are they interviewing you, you're interviewing them. And being able to see Dominic at their first uh, sales boot camp really validated his success and what he's done. So you really kind of just, when you do the interview, you kind of see his results and what he's scaled and how he's built the company off a sales structure, a sales process. You know, you kind of take the leap of faith and be like, well, if you want what he has or you want to follow what he does, you got to follow exactly how he's saying it for him to, keep helping you. So, and it's not just the sales system, the 11-step sales process. It's everything that goes around it, from the call center to the management, to the phone drops, to recruiting, to training, onboarding. I mean, it's so much more than just 11-step sales process that Dominic is able to provide you the tools to scale. Because once you get to X, well, now you want to get to this X, and you need someone that really understands the evolution of your company and your growth. So I really wanted to look at someone not only that had a sales process that I really needed that worked, but how is he going to get me to the next level? And is he going to be able to tell me and guide me and mentor me? And that was really helpful too. To know that he was open and there to give that information, because some consultants, some people, they don't, they like to hold their cards to them, or they don't know how. They just were only at a $3 to $5 million company and now they're a consultant. Yeah. And then you kind of discover that later. So I saw so much potential, not only just the beginning process of adapting the system, but then I want him to see that I'm able to do this. It's going to take a while, but once I do it, that means he's going to be more willing to share more information with me because he can see my dedication. So,
yeah, it's I think I told Dom last time I was with him, I was like, man, if you actually charged for everything that you're doing, you'd be retired. Like,
right.
And he responded. He was just something, I can't remember what it was exactly, but he responded something where it was, I just do what's right and I help people. My clients are almost my friends. And, I thought that was really a cool perspective when he's looking at his clients, not in number, you hear those cliche terms all the time, but really as individuals. And, Dom, my question, to you is, where did that type of, I don't even know what to call it, dedication or allegiance to, your clients, the leaders of these companies that you work with, where did that come from? And why are you mentoring people? Like, I don't want to say off the books, but like, you do so much more, whether it's a personal call, anybody can call you, any one of your clients that we have on here, I know can call you up if they have a question, if they want to talk about something, whatever it is. There's a confidant in you that is nice to have because you're inundated with your business day to day. There's not very many people that really understand the full spectrum of what you're going through. You don't want to vent down because that tarnishes your culture. But when you have somebody like yourself to go to and talk things through or bounce ideas off of, it's really a nice thing to have. Once that trust is obviously earned with you, you don't want to just pick up the phone and call you. Where'd that come from, man? Why do you do that?
Starts at the bourbon bar in my basement, right?
Yes, that's where it starts.
So for me, I've always had a desire to help people and teach. As a matter of fact, most of my teachers in school preach to me up and down that they see me becoming a teacher at some point because I always like sitting down and helping people, even when it's not required of me to do so. And that's also my journey at Mad City. When I first became a salesperson, I had this innate desire to want to help and train everybody else on the team because I was really the first person on the team to really embrace the system. And a lot of people kept coming up to me with questions like, how are you doing this? How are you doing that? And I'm like, well, come ride with me. Let's spend the day together. Observe me in the house. Record me on your phone. I don't care. And then sitting down and role playing with them. So being that leader, even though it wasn't required of me to be that leader. That's why when I stepped into that role, it was fitting. But I truly found as a sales trainer, sales leader, and now the owner of Grosso University, that I got more joy and fulfillment off of watching other people succeed than me personally. Obviously, I love to be successful. I have ambitions and goals of my own. But I know that the more people I can help get what they want, the typical Zig Ziglar quote, then you eventually will get what you want. So it's literally what I strive for every day, is to make sure, regardless of how much people pay me or what's going on, I want to make sure that they are realizing their goals, they're realizing the life of their dreams. And I really try to go above and beyond. I know not everyone likes this, but like under promise, over deliver. I hate when people over promise, under deliver. It drives me insane. So I try to always over deliver, be more available, give more value, and help my clients more so, because selfishly, it brings joy to my life to see them thriving and succeeding. And this is why, especially with Mark's story, because he believed in me early on and he stuck with the program and he's persevered and he hasn't given up. It brings me so much gratification and fulfillment to see him having the numbers and results now in his sales team and to see all this come together. And obviously, I just want to keep that momentum going now. So I'm, a lot of ways, just the cheerleader, keeping them focused, keeping them positive, and providing the guidance and tools along this journey. But I call it being selfishly selfless. So I try to be a selfless individual, put the needs and desires and goals of others before my own. That's the way I've always been. But selfishly, I know that if I do that with enough people, I'll eventually get what I want. So
cool. Yeah, it really stuck out to us when we were going through our due diligence when it came time to, looking at all these different sales organizations and what they're able to bring, the quote unquote intangibles off of the contract, was really something that set you apart.